Without wasting much time, we want to start with the opening prayer. Reverend Father Professor Christus Awka. He is supposed to say the opening prayer, but
our Celestial God, we thank you so much for bringing this day to an effect. We also pray on behalf of all those who are still on their way coming, that they actually get to there safely. Also, for those of us that are already here, we pray that everything will go as planned, and it will be dished out as well for us to actually benefit, that they will continue to be self-sacrificing in this pursuit. We also pray on behalf of the students who are growing behind, that they will actually have a positive way out of this course.
I want to call upon the members of the ITMO, the panelists, our distinguished keynote speakers who have come from far and wide to grace and make this occasion a success. First and foremost, we want to invite on stage the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor C.O. Esimone. Please, a round of applause for him. We are informed that he will be here shortly. He has some private engagements, but he will still make our time to be here. The chairman of the occasion, with a round of applause, please, can we welcome the chairman of this Pioneer Conference of the PAPCPN, in the person of a very distinguished professor who has been in the administrative cadre, human physiology, all the health sciences, Anambra University. He has been a dean multiple times in Nation in this great level of learning. From my teacher. You're most welcome. He was the immediate past president, Physiological Society of Nigeria. He came all the way from the University of Port Harcourt University to the present here. He has been the former multiple times in HOD. He is a foundation member at the Faculty of Basic Medical Science, and he was my PhD supervisor, Prof. A round of applause for him, please. I thought I was going to see Prof. to present personally. He has been the former HOD of that department and has been involved in many sterling outcome qualities that the department can boast of. Prof, you are most welcome. A round of applause for you, please. Prof, you are welcome. From all the groups to Awka, you are welcome. Also in our list, we have Professor ASUU Awka. A round of applause for him as he comes to the stage. Please, a round of applause assisted to the stage. Professor ASUU. He has been the head of the Department of Human Physiology for 10 years at the Department of Physiology. Or counted, I can't even remember. For as long as I know how to. He has been the head of the department. Prof, you are very most welcome in our midst. Thank you very much. You're most welcome, sir. Prof, you're welcome. After that, we will take a speech by the chairman of the event, Professor C.S. Opara. Then the keynote speakers will now have like 30 minutes each to make their own presentations. The first keynote speaker we have here is Professor Arthur N. Femere, followed by Professor Ed Mobodo. Then we can now continue further as we progress. PCPN, the person of Mr. Okeke Ugochukwu and Awka Prof. President, you're welcome. Thank you. He is the moderator, the LOC chairman, the chief event planner of this event. God, you're welcome. Thank you very much. By my right, I also have Mrs. Okeke Jennifer from the Department of Physiology, Faculty of Basic Medical Science, University. We have a lot for her, please. And she is the current staff Faculty of Basic Medical Science, Secreteriat of the University, formerly Anambra University. And I welcome you all and say that this brainstorming event you're having today is one of this life. And I pray that when we leave here, after these deliberations, we are going to come out with impactful moves on how to make this association move forward. Thank you very much, and please have a nice day. President, please wave your hands. The graduates, present, yes, our pride, the most welcome. The undergraduates, are you here? Raise your hands. Yes.
Esteemed colleagues and my fellow professionals, first of all, I want to apologize for unforeseen circumstances that made this conference to start when it wasn't supposed to. Actually, we thank God today that we are gathered today to achieve what we have been praying for years. We have gathered to look into many issues that bedeviled the practice of clinical physiology in Nigeria. It is with great pleasure and immense pride that I stand before you today as the President of the Professional Association of Practicing Clinical Physiologists in Nigeria. I am honored to welcome each and every one of you to this momentous gathering. Today marks a significant milestone in the history of our profession. We have come together, united by our shared commitment to excellency and the pursuit of scientific advancement in clinical physiology. This conference serves as a platform for us to engage in stimulating discussions, exchange innovative ideas, and explore the latest developments in our field. Innovation and the advancement of clinical physiology in Nigeria. I encourage you to actively participate in the sessions, engage in fruitful discussions, and seize the opportunity to forge new connections and collaborations that will propel our profession to a greater heights. Once again, on behalf of the Professional Association of Practicing Clinical Physiologists in Nigeria, I welcome you to our inaugural annual National Scientific Conference. May this conference be a source of inspiration, enlightenment, and empowerment as we collectively chart a course towards a brighter and healthier future for our nation. Thank you, and I wish you all a successful and enriching conference.
Thank you. Let me first join the President to apologize for the late commencement of today's event. The Vice Chancellor, London University, Professor Charles Louis Mona, FAS, I believe he will soon be here. In clinical diagnosis for effective patient care, broadens our knowledge in the physiological basis of diseases, which we come to learn on improvement in professional skills and patient care. Thus, I encourage all the attendees to register and participate actively in all the aspects of the conference. In a special way, I thank the Vice Chancellor. Once again, I thank you all. Welcome.
An advancement, medical science research and patient care, advancing healthcare through clinical physiology, unleashing the power of evidence-based practice. Within the ring of the theme of the conference, advancing clinical physiology, teaching, innovation, and best practices, these titles encapsulate the remarkable impact clinical physiology has on an understanding of how function in both healthy and disease states, and guide clinical practice within the healthcare system in consonance with the 21st century realities and beyond. This inauguration of the National Clinical Physiology Conference serves as a remarkable platform for like-minded medical professionals, researchers, and experts to come together and explore the latest healthcare advancements in this rapidly evolving field, and as well advocate for certification and licensing through an acceptable body such as the Professional Association of Practicing Clinical Physiologists of Nigeria Board of Certification. The physiology, clinical physiology, and clinical physiologists. These are three different areas we will address as brief as possible. Physiology, as you know, is the study of how the human body functions. The mechanical, physical, and biochemical processes that enable life. That's physiology, the study of life. At its core, clinical physiology represents a scientific marriage between the rigorous principles of physiology and the practical application in clinical setting. It is the foundation on which an understanding of human health is built, offering a framework through which we can unravel the complexities of the human body and gain a deeper appreciation of its astonishing capabilities in the context of patient care and clinical practice. Clinical physiology is a manifested field, multifaceted field that encompasses a wide range of specialties that are central to the practice of modern health care. It serves as the bridge between the basic understanding of human physiology and its practical application in diagnosing and treating various medical conditions. Yet, clinical physiology is not mere a collection of data and measurements. It is a field that embodies the human spirit of curiosity, compassion, and innovation. Just as an artist carefully selects the colors for their medical specialty for physicians in a healthcare system. Clinical physiology is the study of human physiological processes of their implications in diagnosing, treatments, and managing diseases and disorders. As a specialty for medical doctors, clinical physiology is a diagnostic specialty for medical professionals or physicians in the healthcare system in which patients are subjected to specialized tests. If you are already a physiologist, it is possible to switch to a medical course and become a medical doctor, then specialize in one of the clinical physiology specialties. Now, this will be misunderstood. This part of the discussion will be misunderstood. Physiology is the number one on it. But because I was not mentor to promote the idea of physiology at that time, at that level, that's why this process, which we are starting now, is though it's belated, but it's going to take over from other disciplines. In your hospital, you have microbiology, you have hematology, you have all sorts of disciplines in the hospital. The right thing should be in the hospital is clinical physiology. But there was no mentor. And that is why we are starting at this time. It's never late. We can build and surpass all other departments in the hospital. So you find yourself in the hospital, doctors, BSc or LBS, will still come back and do what we are preaching at this moment. Because medical physiology involves a lot of instrumentation. And without clinical physiology, you can see the system in your country is not working. Because clinical physiology are absent. That's why our system of the medical system has collapsed. Clinical physiologists, also called physiological scientists, healthcare scientists, or medical scientists, that in there, right from the archive, day one, because there was no mentor to direct in this line. So today, we want to thank the organizers, the president, for initiating this program at this moment. Clinical physiology provides critical insight into human physiology that ensures comprehensive patient care, including accurate, reliable diagnostic testing, monitoring, guide treatment decisions, planning and improve patient outcomes. They work in various settings. So you can see you can work at anywhere in various settings that we can find ourselves. I've just mentioned a few there. However, a clinical physiology is not a typical doctor which I've studied earlier, and we need a work on it. You can fit into the hospital and do a lot of work. Clinical physiologists are unsung heroes and linchpin of modern medicine, in that nobody ever sings about those behind the scene. Through their expertise and dedication in assessing physical functions, embracing healthcare technological advancements, and championing evidence-based practice, they are instrumental in overall improving patient care and shaping the future for healthcare. Mentorship education. And so we continue saying that physiologists, and we cannot go and do what we are supposed to do. The rapid pace of technological advancement and increasing complexity of healthcare demand that clinical physiologists constantly update their knowledge and skills. I'm happy that among us here today, that some of those in the hospital, and they can tell us better what they do. And some of us, we've started now to send people for internship so that they can learn the practice of what is going on in the hospital. They have been neglected for so long, and we're working on at this moment to continue to inform the world that we are able to do what we are supposed to do. We must embrace lifelong learning. We must embrace lifelong learning. Things are changing every day. If we are not learning, using equipment, to study new equipment, you will be obsolete in your thinking. And sorry to say that in the hospitals, people die every day like flies because of obsolete equipment. Because we, as clinical physiologists, we are not there to guide them. Doctors just imagine that this is supposed to be an appendicitis. If they say, we will not understand. The world is changing every day, and new ideas are coming. New instruments are coming. Now you can use computer for your results to analyze. In those days, there was no computer, and we just did what we did. So we can see we must be at the forefront to look at the new gadgets that are coming up. It would be remiss if it is not mentioned that clinical physiologists are not just technicians. They are highly skilled and educated medical professionals with a deep understanding of the human physiology. So you must know that expansion of clinical physiology has unveiled advanced and easily accessible and accurate diagnostic cutting-edge tools and technologies that enables precise identification and categorization of diseases. Now, we are going to measure some equipment, and that I said earlier, we are consult heroes through an understanding of physiology. There are so many in developed countries, there are so many companies. Those who study physiology, with diverse that are studying physiology into instrumentation. We have an AD instrument. All the instruments we have in the world is a physiologist that developed that instrument, and it's currently all over the world going on. So from physiology, we can do a lot of work. Now from non-invasive imaging techniques, such as echocardiogram. Now, when you go to the hospital, you will see this echocardiogram in the hospital, the echocardiogram, ECG, all these are familiar issues you know about. These are to be mounted by you, not any other person. But in Nigeria, you know what a problem is? They don't want, so a group of people want to do everything, monopolize everything. And they are master of every knowledge and master of nothing. So we are now fighting. Includes to lead you into this field. But all the equipment measured here, you will be able to manipulate it and use it. Sometimes, as I said, in the developed countries, all these equipment are done by physiologists in their private homes, and they do the diagnosis. Like as if men and women that travel overseas, they attend to physiologists, clinical physiologists, not in the hospital, because they will refer to the clinical physiologists, and that's where they are being attended to, because they know the problem the candidate or the patient has, and being attended to by the clinical physiologist before it's being referred to the hospital. So these are all the equipment we can mention. They're all listed there. It's one of them. That we need to know all those equipment. Don't worry, we send a copy to each one of you, look at it, so you can see the equipment. And with that, the clinical physiologists, physicians, cannot do their work. They all depend on the clinical physiologists to perform their work. As I said here, as a result, physicians pinpoint abnormalities and diseases that may have otherwise remained undetected and thought of life. So you must do a lot of research. Because we have to tell the physician, sorry, you don't use this drug. If you use this drug, it will work on because you have done it in your experiment. Tested it in your laboratory, tested it in the clinic, and you say that don't use this drug. Otherwise, this patient will die. Or use this concentration for this patient to survive. But in this country, physiology is lacking. So doctors take undue advantage. Let's look at the pandemic outbreak. In today's rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, the importance of clinical physiology cannot be overstated. It is a dynamic field, constantly adapting to incorporate emerging technologies and scientific discoveries. You must be on your toes. We must acknowledge the challenges and opportunities in the field that lies ahead. It is important to touch upon emerging trends as the integration of digital knowledge and clinical physiology, such as telemedicine. Television medicine, that's what telemedicine. Now we are going to use televisions to prescribe, to diagnose, and we need to equip ourselves to fall into that aspect of diagnosis. Remote monitoring. You have to remote, stay with your patient. A patient taken from here to Inaugural, for instance, it is you, a physiologist, clinical physiologist, can monitor such a patient. Now there's what we call variable sensors. You are taking care of a patient to the field. Even those flying, those going in the air, the rockets in the air, they are also clinical physiologists. They monitor the heart rate of everybody in the flying objects. But the question I asked there, if they monitor the hearts of those flying in the air, who monitors the heart of the clinical physiologist flying with them? That has not been answered. So we can say, we are always at the losing side. Who take care of others and who takes care of us? Nobody is there. So the data we collect, our experts also plays a vital role in data privacy, into society, public health, everywhere. We need a clinical physiologist, psychologist, social population. They cannot do without you. You are everywhere in the world. These are paramount in imitating these challenges and addressing the responsible ethical and legal regulatory consideration. That is what we are fighting for now. We need to have our own legal and practice methods.
Standing ovation round of applause. Let us stand and give the necessary round of applause for our prof. Former PSN President of Nigeria. Keep clapping, keep clapping, my friends, keep clapping. Thank you, Lord, thank you. Yes. I hope we are satisfied with what God gave us. I am ready to play my role as a career clinical physiologist. Yes, I'm happy you're responding. The next speaker will come up, and it's my pleasure to welcome Anambra to introduce him properly. Let's have a shake hands, please.
Our second keynote speaker is a renowned professor of physiology, a neurophysiologist, former HOD, Department of Physiology, Awka State University, current Dean, Faculty of Basic Medical Science, Awka State University, to deliver his speech on emerging technologies in his clinical physiology. We welcome the distinguished Professor Anambra.
us welcome and well done. I want to specially express my heartfelt joy and commendation to our neighbor president. When the initiation of the Professional Association of Practicing Physiology came on board, I had to specially call because I wanted to have an in-depth background before I identify myself with it. And when I received a satisfactory conviction, I submitted. Along the line, I come to know that the very gentleman, very respected and respectful in the person of Okeke Igochukwu family, he is the president. I said thank God. Let me join the protocol established by recognizing our chairman, Professor S. Usaro, who are giving us the opening remark. I also want to thank our Professor Physiology. They are being helpful to us, recommending us, assisting our papers for professorship and rest of them. Well, thank you so much. Other professors I recognize my own brother, because we are together at many years. And God help me to are coming together again. And the rest of us that are here, let me rest on that established protocol. And briefly introduce you to my speech. I know that the presentation you plan back, that's 30 minutes. And as a teacher, conscious of time, I want to stick to that time. In the first place, and also other personal projects, I was able to join them because physiology is the mainstream of medicine. And when I introduced PhD physiology in my school, I said no, it's carry on span. And that's why I thought to present this topic given to me on imagine the possible heredity in human physiology, and especially that into topic on electro-diagnostic techniques and neuromodulation. I would like you to pay attention so that at the end of my presentation, you start to appreciate most of what you do is physiology, and the nursing and bioengineering and the comprehensive implantable and non-implantable techniques. Electrical or chemical that is part of neural processing to provide for humanity. When I'm about to talk of neuromodulation, I would like you to realize that most of what we do in the laboratory, sometimes we are looking at the action potentials. We are monitoring our electrodes and we are recording the action potentials. That forms the basis of neuromodulation. That forms the basis of recording the electrical activities, and that formed the basis of my lecture this day on that neuromodulation. I will want to look at neuromodulation under three subheadings. Attending to electrophysiology and electrophysiodiagnostic neuromodulation. Attending to what we call the desired drug neuromodulation. Of course, that's why we want to spend much of our time because speaker has made mention of most of the electrophysiological techniques. Then I will now take you to the dietary implication of neuromodulation that has taken us to do most of the neurobehavioral experiments in our laboratories. And at the end of it, you will discover that you can easily use the neuromodulation and apply it in your various areas. Just as I said, the intention in my design in my school would be that when any of the students of physiology is 300 level or thereof, the second semester will send such a student out into one of the federal medical centers to go and mark one of the electrophysiological techniques which I have outlined here, and you become a specialist. And when you specialize in such techniques, including number one, electrocardiography, you should be able to examine, diagnose the body part, the heart, the cardiac muscles. You could also do electroarteriogram, the arterial muscles. It's not often used. Electroventricular, not often used. The intracardiac electrogram, not often used. The electroencephalogram. I'm going to give you a key on how you are going to use the neuromodulation and be able to treat and be able to diagnose and identify the epileptic fits. So you see that electroencephalogram should be very, very common to any physiology. It should be able to give the full account of himself or herself on the basis of the action potential we often record. We also say electrocardiogram. We see electromyograph. Electromyograph is muscle, the part of the body, the muscle throughout the body. This is very, very common. Every physiologist should be able to embark on this. You examine the muscles by the use of electromyograph. You'll be able to record atrophies, record what is happening in that part of the body. You also do electrooculograph. You should be able to assess when there's sleeping or no sleeping. This is often in conjunction with the EEG. Others there that are in common use, you see there the electrooculograph. We use it to examine the cochlear and rest of them. Now, I will want to take you to the basics because my interest in this topic is what is this neuromodulation? You'll be able to assess what is the position of the body. Now,
I want to go straight to the electrophysiological equipment, which you can see here. The equipment here is what is involved in the recording of the EEG. Is recorded. Look at the principle that I involved. How do you connect it? You place them on the various parts of the body. That's the electroencephalogram. A method to record an electrogram of the spontaneous electrical activity of the brain. You will get the biosignals detected by the EEG, having been drawn to the respective and postsynaptic potentials of the pyramidal neurons in the neocortical and allocortex part of the body. You look at the principle there. I know that in our workshop we are going to do this practically, but before then, you should be able to have the physiological basis of that diagnosis. What are the physiological basis? And that basis is on the recording of the action potential. You can see the electrodes, you can see the electroencephalogram, you can see the part of the brain where they are tied and they are recorded. Now, the EEG is the gold standard diagnostic procedure to confirm epilepsy. I told you that when you carefully one of the electrophysiological techniques, you should be able to come up with it. You should be able to know how will I use one of them. And here I'm taking you in detail how you can be able to diagnose. The EEG will show up. This includes brain tumors, brain damages from head injuries, brain dysfunctions that have a variety of causes, the glucose transport deficiency syndromes, inflammation on the brain, stroke, sleep disorders, and rest of them. At the end of my presentation, please get ready to have a copy of this, because my inner intention will be to have each of you with a copy so that as I go on, I carry you along. Now, I want to get to my second point, which is the area I have explanation to make for you, because the area of electrophysiology is what you have already started. You will take time and see the advantages and disadvantages in my record. Let me take you to my second point, which I call the designer's neuromodulation. The drug designer's neuromodulation. Very important. It's a new horizon which the physiologists will break and will be able to make a new change. The designer's drug neuromodulation is very, very important. It's a very new area that catalyzes or to attenuate the behavior of an individual. So the G protein is based on the human muscarinic acetylcholine receptors, and a group of scientists, they design what is called the concept designers receptors exclusively activated by designers drugs, what I call PREs. What I mean by this, this group of producer and colleagues in Carolina University 2007, they are the people that introduced this concept. And what we've done is to address the G proteins, the various sites, and they are able to discover that there is a certain pathway that will give rise to simulation, and in such a case, we discover that there is an increased planning and memory. Also, the social behaviors. Most of my students here that I work on neural behavior, actually my mentor here, and his another lecture, was able to pinpoint on one of such diseases that identified other medication, but he was able to make allusion of brain, in which he was able to use this extract and fed a group of animals to see that they were improvement. And he made a recommendation that in this country and this nation Nigeria, they are better off in surviving the Alzheimer's disease because they buy and they consume most of these local consumables that contain most of the insatiable substances that can go through the insatiable pathway of the brain. We also look at beans, we use this, we discover that beans will actually go through the brain in the treatment of epileptic fits. And that's now that the application in treatment of epilepsy. And the use of brain are giving a wider understanding and treatment of epileptic fits. Knowing that the pathophysiology of epilepsy is an imbalance between excitation and inhibition in the brain.
Distinguished professors, yes, I'm with you now. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, yes, members of PAPCPN, I am around now. I can only wish and pray that they will continue to grow from strength to strength. And I must say that the Physiological Society of Nigeria will support you all through your ways. Having said that, let me share my screen. That in UK, 52.7% of those graduates of physiology are fully employed in the health sector. Some are in healthcare and education. Some are also in other areas of science, while some are into business, human resources, and finance industries. Which means that the question of being unemployed is out of the question. So many of them are fully employed, and that is what we have all over the world. Nigeria is still a young republic, we are just starting, but we thank God the Professional Association of Practicing Clinical Physiologists have broken the ground, and we are now looking at different direction. So in this paper, I'm going to be discussing some other areas that people may look into. In other climate, physiology is beginning to appear in other areas of this human sphere, and they are contributing and making very impactful effort, and you can see there. So why is physiology so relevant? If we feel physiology is not that important, why are people now coming to do physiology? Why are many more people doing physiology? I think in the first instance, it is an exciting and very dynamic discipline. And because of that, we all know that it's underpinned translational and clinical medicine. The Inaugural people have said it is the bedrock of medical practice in different forms. So it provides the interface between physical sciences and life sciences. presently, we have physiological practice being carried out all over the world presently. You know, you don't have to say time. This is what not outbreaks in Nigeria, for instance, and many other countries. Because we do know that when you do research, you do everything. Part of the reason we do research in physiology is to find treatment for fighting diseases and improving lifelong health. We also investigate every aspect of the way that human and other bodies function and how various parts of the body work together. Many universities are shining on that time to be organized, talking to them, in which they need someone to bridge the gap between the movement of the university, the expert, and the young people in the public. So they need what they call public engagement coordinators who are going to interact easily between the scientists and also the lay public. Some are also employed as medical staff. A good understanding of this can lead to value and benefit everyone. The young and the old.
Principal Scientific Officer and Senior Clinical Physiologist, Federal Medical Center, Asaba. You know, we are making boast of Federal Medical Center, Asaba. That institution is #1 clinical center for physiologists. Designated physiology one suit.
The younger physiologists and also encouraging the elderly one, the physiologists among us. I told them back then that look, as a physiologist, you have to be in education. Leave those of us that are in education. There are so many areas you can be. And some of them are sitting down here looking at us. You can get into medicine, clinical physiology, and every aspect of medicine you have relevant there. They say, is it true? I say, it's true. I am telling you what I am. And as you see me standing, I'm happy to know physiology or to call. No, I say call. We didn't mix it. We just went like that, through physiology and still remain physiology. And they started taking that challenge. We said it there. Now the area I want to encourage those of you in practicing clinical physiologists is that looking at the trend the world is going, go with the trend. If your idea is a cardiac physiologist, master it very well. If your idea is an endocrine physiologist, go all out for it. If your idea as a neurophysiologist, I want to the Gallup medical people, they are not here today. We didn't drag any of them. Just at our the Gallup, no, they are not here. So go all out. Why do I say go all out? Because if you look at the way medicine has gone, or is going, the physiology that happens, if you are a cardiac physiologist, nobody comes into that area without you certifying them, not even the doctors. Then maybe that's what is your. So after they are filling their MBBS in front of you, and the human consumption, if you take this, it will happen to your cardiovascular, this will happen to your liver, this will happen to this. They say, me, Paul, this clinical physiologist. Lastly, we want to see those of you that have a flair for writing, science editors, because you write it, all those things that is happening in clinical physiology, write it. You know what is happening in academic science editors. That's another area that I'm hoping that in the near future, as we'll be having this conference annually, they'll be showcasing all these other sub-areas, and eventually all these sub-areas, they also grow big to even be having their maybe their yearly conference or quarterly conference cannot be in a year. So I want to congratulate congratulate everyone. I want to congratulate those that have put up this together, the Professional Association of Practicing Clinical Physiologists. And one thing you can be rest assured for those of us in PSN and those of us in education physiology, academic physiology, if I want, whatever I want to call us, that you will always have our support. Anytime there are now conference and God helping me and I'm available on this, I want to show faith. I also want maybe next time I'll be able to present paper in more detail so that collectively we are moving together and collectively we are bringing out every potential in everyone that have studied physiology. So on the very last note, congratulations Association of Practicing Clinical Physiology. Keep on the good works, keep on aspiring, and don't rest until you have conquered all. Thank you very much.
Also, Chief Chukudi Ebube Ikechukwu, also Ebubagini, represented by High Chief Engineer Victor Atahini. Okay, please come to the podium. Please let somebody else stand in the light. Somebody around. Please clap for the most for let's clap.
As it's coming, I want to call another speaker, one of us, very one of us, Professor Chukwu J.A. O'Brien, a blood and immunophysiologist.
Good afternoon, my senior colleagues here. Everybody here that had the patience to relax till this moment. Of course, I wish to thank the organizers of this program. I actually saw the program or the conference or inaugural or whatever it is online. My colleagues always have eagle eyes. I mean, my colleagues in the office. Whatever that happens in the world, they bring it to notice. So when I saw it, I was wondering, is it not the same project that we have been striving all these years, we as medical doctors? Anyway, my brief history is that I actually did a first degree in medical lab sciences, after which I studied MBBS. I was doing my residency training when I had a kind of pinch. I said, no, I cannot be intimidated. I'm a hematologist. I'm going to look for a place and do my master's in hematology because of the love I have or passion that I have in teaching. When I went to Abia State University, they told me there is no hematology, no master's degree for hematology. I said, oh. I went to greet some of my senior colleagues then. There I met Professor Hussein. I expressed my case there. He said, no, go and pick a form for physiology. Hematology and physiology is just the same. Pick a form. Get admission and do physiology. It's blood, you know, and some other things, instrumentation. I said, I won't. You know, there's a way we see professors in the institutions. So when they tell you to do anything, you don't need to argue too much. Also, clinically, I actually know that they play the same role. So I said, let me go and pick the form. That was the bet of I joining physiology department. I finished my master's. I continued and started my PhD. Why I'm telling you this is because it's not today we'll be asking ourselves these questions. Who are physiologists? Where are we going to? Where do we work? That's always the question. The young ones will keep. In fact, as I'm talking to you, if you go to basic medical sciences, even in our university, biochemistry, they are many. Anatomy, they are many. In physiology, we'll be having 1 or 2 or 3 people. What is chasing them away? Because some of them felt they don't have direction, but they did not know. That I am telling you that we'll be worried. One of my senior colleagues mentioned it here. There's what we call Association of Medical Doctors in Academics. I'm the state chairman. I made sure that when we wanted to go into medical postgraduate college, to involve, because we had a problem between the academics and the clinicals. All the both clinicals and pre-clinicals, that it was only the people that started postgraduate medical college in the department that they used to start it, the elderly ones there was pediatrics, medicine, O&G, surgery, and few other ones. You can be so surprised that physiology was the only basic medical science that was there from Awka.
One of our professors has discussed the physiology of the brain. He has discussed the interaction of the drug on the brain. He has even discussed interpretation of EEG. He has talked about the neurons and all that. So I'm here to cover the area that concerns clinical practicing physiology, and that has to do with the procedure in carrying out EEG. I will just summarize generally as time is not on our side. EEG, as we all know, has to do with the electrical activity of the brain. Also, when it comes to waveforms, we have 5 kinds of waves: delta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma, and these ones has different parameters ranging from 0.5 to 4 Hz. And the last one, which is gamma, has about above 30 Hz. Also, although it's not under display, but when it comes to the waveform, you will see that just as the value comes up from small to largest, so also the graph shows spiraling to becoming density. Then we go on to indications. Indications for undergraduates has to do with reasons for sending for EEG. It can be due to seizures, which can be epileptic or non-epileptic seizures. It can also be due to mental issues. For kids, it can be due to cerebral spasm, poor developmental stages, and a lot more. We also want to go to the preparations. Under these preparations, that means what you have to do to actually prepare your patients for EEG. Although you have to tell the patient on the need for the patient to actually wash his or her hair properly with water, to avoid rubbing cream on the hair or soap and all that, so that the scalp will be clean. But the major part of it is the barbing of the hair.
Good afternoon, everyone, once again. So please, I want to support this movement with the sum of 100,000 naira. And I am also encouraging the undergraduate physiology students here, please keep on working hard. A lot of thousands of Nigerians here, the light of Nigerians here, are there waiting for you to save them. As you work hard in order to save people's life in our society, so shall your own life be saved. In the name of God.
Let's give him a round of applause. Somebody on the song of also at the bear again. In recognition of your outstanding commitment. Is that right? Give me the please come on. In recognition of your outstanding commitment to societal development, your work education and brought about meaningful change, inspiring others to join in creating a brighter future. Your remarkable vision, an innovative approach, have empowered individuals and fostered inclusivity, making a lasting impact on our community. With heartfelt appreciation, we recommend your exemplary lifestyle and congratulate you on this very deserved recognition. This day, 26th day of October 2023. And we welcome Professor Vincent Ibukwe to present this award. Let us appreciate them. If you are eating, the clap, you know. Yes. Professional Association of Practicing Clinical Physiologists in Nigeria, I present this certificate of recognition to you, Chief, for your outstanding commitment to societal development. Big procedures there, they encourage, I encourage. So why not more people? Let us give them a round of applause. The third one is response. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. I want to stand on the existing protocol to thank the organizers of this annual conference. I want to appreciate all of you. I have nothing to say, but to tell all the physiologists that Nigerians are waiting for you. Thank you very much. Sorry, and we are supporting you people with the sum of 50,000 naira. The recognition of your standing commitment to societal development, your unwavering dedication has brought about meaningful change, inspiring others to join in creating a brighter future. Your remarkable vision and innovative approach have empowered individuals and fostered inclusivity, making a lasting impact on our community. With heartfelt appreciation, we commend your exemplary lifestyle and congratulate you on this well-deserved recognition. Thank you. We welcome Professor Wampo to please give this award. Professor Wampo, let us appreciate him as he comes up. On behalf of the Professional Association of Hospital Council Physiologists in Nigeria, it is my pleasure that association has found you worthy and to honor you this day with certificate of recognition to Chief Peter Awka, being the road on one of Ugwu Kingdom, in recognition of the outstanding commitment to societal development. Your unwavering dedication have brought about meaningful changes, inspiring others to join in creating a brighter future. Your remarkable vision and innovative approach have empowered individuals and fostered inclusivity, making a lasting impact in our community.
The chairman of the occasion, the national president of the organization and her ESCO, the professors present, distinguished members of the high table, and other protocols duly observed. Standing here, I'm standing on behalf of Chief Peter Awka, Millionaires and Inaugural. I want to thank the organizing committee and the national body of this association for finding Chief Awka worthy of recognition for his outstanding contribution to the society.
Give them a round of applause, please. We want to appreciate them in recognition of the outstanding contribution to the field of human physiology and your exemplary service to the advancement of medical physiologists in Nigeria. We say a big thank you. May God bless you. Oh yeah, let's do it.
I'm so happy today. On behalf of the Professional Association of Practicing Clinical Physiologists in Nigeria, I present this certificate of lifetime achievement to Professor Ato and Shuemere in recognition of your outstanding contributions to the field of human physiology and your exemplary service to the advancement of clinical physiology in Nigeria. We are so grateful, sir.
You want to get out? Professor Acid Fiber. Yes. They are our giants. The Lord that made us all who we are.
Sir, I am so grateful to have you here today. Again, on behalf of the Professional Association of Practicing Clinical Physiologists in Nigeria, I present this award to you, Professor Stephen Ufaro, in recognition of your outstanding contributions to the field of human physiology and your exemplary service to the advancement of clinical physiologists in Nigeria. We say once again, thank you, sir.
Let us welcome the next tonight, Professor Vincent Awka. These are people that has contributed to the field of human physiology over years. And the exemplary service to the advancement of clinical physiology. Thank you, sir, for a job well done. We appreciate it.
we are grateful once again. And I say, on behalf of Professional Association of Practicing Clinical Physiologists in Nigeria, I present this award to you, the certificate of lifetime achievement, to Professor Vincent Iwokwe, in recognition of your outstanding contributions to the field of human physiology and your exemplary service to the advancement of clinical physiologists in Nigeria. Thank you, sir. The Professional Association of Practicing Clinical Physiologists in Nigeria. This certificate of lifetime achievement is presented to Professor Wangbo, whose Azubike Amabwe, in recognition of your outstanding contributions to the field of human physiology and your exemplary service to the advancement of clinical physiologists in Nigeria. We say once again, thank you, sir.
A professor called clinical physiology, who has practiced clinical physiology in the United States of America and in Nigeria. So, the Department of Human Physiology, known as the University. So we are calling on was among the professors that started the issue of this clinical physiology in Nigeria. He didn't show with us, he had brought it to display with us. And he sent his greetings. Thank you, Professor.
Please, I want us to understand one thing. Somebody like Professor Mogodo is a professor that committed all his efforts to make sure that clinical physiology in Nigeria is well advanced. And today, Professional Association of Practicing Clinical Physiologists in Nigeria is proud to present him with a certificate of lifetime achievement. Professor M. Mogodo, in recognition of your outstanding contributions to the field of human physiology and your exemplary service to the advancement of clinical physiologists in Nigeria, we are glad to present this award to you, sir.
I want to encourage our patient is our father. PAPCPN is in collaboration with PSN. And you had him speak today, encouraging us to go out there behind us. We want you to support your parent body, PSN. If you don't reach out with PSN today, raise your hand, let's see. You're not a member of PSN. Wave your hand, don't wave your hand. Okay. It means you're going to register from now on. The water is raised. Let's put the hands together for them.
Actually, I will say 3 presidents, both former and current, we want to talk to each other. Standing before you, Professor Ato Shuemere was once former president of PSN. And today, we want to present an award, a certificate of lifetime to Professor A.R.A. Awada, who is also the president of the Physiological Society of Nigeria in recognition of his outstanding contributions to the field of human physiology and his exemplary services to the field, to the advancement of clinical physiologists in Nigeria. We are happy to present him this certificate of lifetime.
Thank you, thank you. I will give this to Gonzalo. I will enjoy this talk today. I want to ask you to come and present this award, the Magaji, Professor of Human Physiology, A.B. Zaria.
We are glad to present this certificate of lifetime, this certificate of lifetime achievement to Professor Labiu Abdullah Magaji in recognition of your outstanding contributions to the field of human physiology and your exemplary service to the advancement of clinical physiologists in Nigeria. We present this award to you, sir.
Thank you. Round of applause for Labiu Magaji. We could not come today. We appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Now, please, I want us to understand one thing about Professor Olatunji Bello. For me, and for some other physiologists in Nigeria, we see her as a model in physiology profession. She's a woman that always wants the progress and the success of physiology profession in Nigeria. And from the day one of PAPCPN, she has vowed to support PAPCPN, support physiology profession, especially in the area of cancer. She has even demanded for our account number so that she will support financially for us to do whatsoever that it takes at the National Assembly and achieve our goal. So, on that aspect, we are happy to have someone like that. And today, we are presenting to her a certificate of lifetime achievement presented to Professor Ibiyemi Olatunji Bello in recognition of their outstanding contributions to the field of human physiology and your exemplary service to the advancement of clinical physiologists in Nigeria. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I don't know why Chief Boyle, the president, has to call me to come and take it on Abia. Whether they are privileged to something, which I don't know. But there's something I wish to tell you. Professor Ibiyemi, we were classmates at the undergraduate level. So she will get to you and brief her immediately after that, and you can be rest assured she will be support whatever happens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
That's it on behalf of them.
One year of the Professional Association of Professional Clinical Physiologists in Nigeria. We are glad to present a certificate of lifetime achievement to Professor Mohammed Mabrok A. Aziz in recognition of your outstanding contributions to the field of human physiology and your exemplary service to the advancement of clinical physiologists in Nigeria. We are happy, sir.
Physiologist, you don't enter that room. When we want to carry out our test, I'll say, please, doctor, can you please excuse us? Just excuse us. So we have to guide this clinical physiology very, very jealously. So there are many things that I want to present. I just want to short everything. Please, physiologists that are here present, if you carry out a test without interpreting it, sorry to say, you are a technician. You are a technician. This young girl that is still undergoing undergraduate, I can teach her echo, probe. I will tell her how to probe a patient. Within 3 days, she will know it. But unable to interpret it, what is different between a technician and that physiologist? So, I didn't just stop there. I started putting, if you see this, it's not a doctor that wrote it. It's me. ECG interpretation at a glance. What cardiologists, because when I was in India, cardiologists, some from Lutz, some from Ife, some from UCH, we were not classmates together in India. And I even got the knowledge of echo, invasive, pulmonary angiography, all those things better than them. Because I have a very solid knowledge in physiology. That is why I will always respect our fathers here present, who has given us that landing ground. So, when I wrote this, consultants undergoing what they call postgraduate program to become consultants, they are now using my book. In University of Benin, I think last 2 weeks, they were saying, okay, please, bring your copy. Bring your copy. When the doctor said, I want my name to be there, I said, very, very good. But if you were a physiologist, your name will come first. I will give you that respect. But since you are a medical doctor, my name, you are a doctor, my name will still remain first. And the doctor taught me, he's not a doctor of physiology, he's a medical doctor. But I told him 101 because I am a kind of trying to protect the profession, clinical physiology. We have been advocating this. I am very, very, very happy. Now that I'm now in academy, I didn't stop. I still continue my practice. I have my mobile ECG. I have my mobile 24-hour, 72-hour ambulatory ECG. So they used to call me in the hospital. Please, I want you to do this test. I will do it. I will collect my money. So, young graduate or undergraduate here present in the house, don't be scared that physiology won't like to do physiology. All you need to do, you need to have the skills. After this program, I will make you to be president because I told my students I'm not going to hide this knowledge because one day I will leave. This younger generation, they will take over. So, the way I went about me becoming a cardiac physiologist and a neurovascular physiologist, because this year, March to April,
understand that physiology is not what some persons are telling you physiology is. Actually, the way we operate in our professional body, we don't say things we do. We only let people to see what we do. Because in Nigeria we have principalities and less power people that always like to interfere negatively in progress of some persons. But on this note, I want to let my colleague and a brother to understand that we have looked into a lot of facts, a lot of things before considering establishing and advancing clinical physiology profession in Nigeria. And as it stands, from next year March, nobody that studies physiology in Nigeria without undergoing processes outlined by PAPCPN. And the processes is all about having a good clinical experience, undergoing SIWES and internship. And at the end of the day, we have gone a long way with an international council authority to make sure that whosoever that wants to practice physiology in the healthcare system will write an examination, and we call it International Professional Examination. On this note, we are doing our best to make sure that we have the professionals and also we protect the interest of the public. Thank you and remember this.
Our heads and move on. And along the line, I met a gynecologist who asked me a simple question: why is it that physiologists don't like working in the hospital? And I looked at him in the eye and said, that's because you doctors claim you own the hospital. So we physiologists, we want to own the research institute and go into academics. And he said that's not true. That as a physiologist, I can enjoy my academic work and at the same time enjoy my clinical works. I said, how? He said I should go and study about Robert Edwards and Patrick Steptoe. So I went back and studied about these two persons, and I discovered the professor wanted a relationship between a gynecologist and a physiologist. Robert Edwards was a physiologist, and Patrick Steptoe, a gynecologist, who had a challenge. A 28-year-old young lady who was married had tubal occlusion, bilateral tubal occlusion, meaning at ovulation, eggs cannot pass. Even when they have intercourse, no fertilization, no implantation, and eventually there will be pregnancy. So, and then, issue with tubal surgeries was very, very rare. But these people insisted they want to get pregnant, and it was challenging. The gynae informed the physiologist and said, young man, what do you think we can do? And Robert Edwards went into his laboratory and ligated the tubes of a rat and tried all he could to get the rat pregnant. Nothing happened. Over the years, after a series of research, he came up with this issue of in vitro fertilization, where he got sperm extracted from another rat and manually injected it into the uterus of the female rat. It didn't work. He extracted the uterus, did his work in the laboratory, developed the zygote that eventually turned to embryo later. They transferred it. After a series of failed attempts, it worked. So they needed to take it up to the human stuff. That was where ethical issue and other challenges came up. Religion issue came, ethics came, and qualification issue came. But Steptoe was busy providing his colleague with human tissue from cancer patients to see if actually what happened in rats can be replicated in humans. And over the years, after failed several attempts, the birth of the first IVF baby, the person of Louise Brown, became a success. Today, Louise Brown is over 40 years. She had her own children without issues. She has grandchildren and other things. That was how in vitro fertilization came to be. But the sad story today is who generated this. There was a collaboration between the physiologist and the gynecologist. But today, this practice has been hijacked because there are no available physiologists. And as I speak with you, by the special grace of God, the person you see standing here, there is no center in the whole of this southeast that will not pass directly and indirectly through the person standing before you.
Can we all please stand up for a closing prayer? Let's pray. Holy and mighty Father in heaven, thank you for this great day that you have made, and we have come to rejoice in it. We've ended today's program, and tomorrow is going to be a new interesting program. We want to connect those who are traveling far and near today to go home safely without any problem, and to prepare them to come back tomorrow and we continue this good work that has been created. Be with everybody as we sleep. We will come tomorrow as a newborn baby, for we pray to Jesus Christ our Lord.
We want to thank the host, the owner of this place that we stay. Do you like this house? If you want to have this house in your university, the ASUU president of this university is here. He will say hi to us. Comrade Kingsley, the professor of biochemistry.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry I've been on and off, but I want to congratulate you for a successful program. Indeed, it's successful. And to our